Hello everyone. Today, my project partner Samruddhi and myself Omkar will talk about our CSE 564 final project where we have created a visualization dashboard for global terrorism. So, why should we care about this topic and visualizing it? Identifying patterns in global terrorism cannot is not always feasible by just looking at raw data. But once we see this data in a visual form, we can identify trends in this data over time, over geographic regions, and even over types and nature of the attack. This can help us better understand the nature of terrorism and the factors which actually contribute to it. So, as you can see in the poster, we have created various visualizations which can help us understand such patterns and trends over time as well as over geographic locations. Uh, to tell you a little bit about our data set, we have used the global terrorism data set from Kaggle, and this data set contains roughly 200,000 rows, where each row corresponds to an instance of a terrorist attack which happened at a given point in time and in a specific country. So using this data, we were able to bring up various visualizations, which I will talk about in a moment. So let me head over to our dashboard itself. Yeah. So as you can see, this is our visualization dashboard, um, where we have various visualizations such as a choropleth world map, a parallel coordinate plot, a donut chart, a word cloud, and a multi-line plot. So here, as you can see, we have created three non-standard visualizations and a couple of standard ones. Um, the dashboard that we have created is a single page dashboard without any scrolling on either vertically or horizontally, and we have added various interactive elements to it, which I will show you in a moment. So let me begin with the world map itself. So the world map is essentially a choropleth map where hovering over a country will show us the number of terrorist attacks which happened in that country. And at the same time, this data is also spread across time. So the currently we are in the 1970 to 1980 decade. So these values are specific to that time period. So currently we have selected the US as the country. So we can see that there were 1475 attacks in the US in 1970 to 1980. Now, why would we use a world map? Because plotting attacks on a world map, we can see which regions are affected more by terrorism and which areas require greater attention by security agencies. Moreover, by using color coding to represent the number of incidents in each location, we can compare the levels of terrorism across different regions as well as across time. For example, this is our plot for 1970 to 1980. But once I change it to, let's say, 2000 to 2010, we can immediately see how the colors have changed. And one observation we can draw right off the top is in 1970 to 1980, there was more terrorism prevalent in North America and in Europe, and there was almost none in Asia. But as time passed, there was a lot more terrorism happening in Asia and Africa, and the terrorism in North America actually decreased. So that is how we can make use of this world map and the time slider. Now, moving on to the second visualization, here we have a parallel coordinate plot where we are showing various axes such as the name of the group which conducted the attack, the city where the attack happened, the type of attack, the type of weapon, and so on. Uh, a parallel coordinate plot basically helps us correlate variables with each other. So, for example, we can see that attacks in certain cities tend to be carried out by very specific attacking groups and using certain types of weapons. So, such patterns can help us better understand the nature of terrorism and inform policy and strategy development. So, to give you an example, let's say I select the country Russia. So, we can see that in 2000 to 2010, this single group of terrorists was responsible for most of the attacks that were carried out. And this is a very useful observation if you want to, if you want to find out which groups are conducting more terrorist activities than others. Uh, Moreover, The parallel coordinate plot also supports axis reordering, meaning we can actually change the order in which the axes are present. So, for example, let's say I change my time period to 1990 to 2000, and I select the country Algeria. So, just by looking at it, it may not be obvious that if a certain weapon type was used more than others. But if I just reorder this axis and bring it here, we can see that most of the attacks in this country were carried out using firearms. So that can again be helpful in tracking down what kind of weapons are being circulated, and kind of and help us, and it would help the government to tackle such movements. So that was about the parallel coordinate plot. The next plots will be explained by my project partner Samruddhi.
Yes, so as explained by Omkar, once we select a country and a time period, we can see different visualization giving information about terrorism. Moving on to the next visualization, that is a donut chart, we can see that it shows the types of attack with the percentage of it. So a donut chart can help highlight areas of vulnerability within a country's security environment. For example, if a particular type of attack is becoming more frequent, security agencies may decide to allocate more resources to prevent or mitigate those types of attack. For example, if we select a time frame of 1990 and 2000 and a select country as Germany, we can see that the most of the attacks have been of type assassination of around 45%. Unarmed assault are also prevalent. The next visualization is the word cloud. A word cloud can provide a quick and easy to understand overview of the types of targets that have been attacked. By displaying the frequency of different target types in the cloud, by showing the size proportional to the frequency of it, we can see at a glance which targets have been most frequently attacked and which have been less frequently attacked. By understanding the focus of targets, policymakers can develop policies and strategies that are specific to the types of attacks, which can be more effective than general policies. For example, if we select a time frame of 1980 to 1990 for the country US, in this case, we can see that military, religious figures, institutions, airports, and aircraft is the most attacked targets. So in this case, we can understand more about the target types. Moving on to the multi-line plot, we can see that it gives a comprehensive view of the impact of terrorism by showing both number of people who are wounded and number of people who are killed. By displaying multiple lines on the same plot, uh, it is possible to see the trends and patterns over the time. For example, if we select a time period of 2000 to 2010 and a country, let's say Afghanistan, uh, we can see that the the number of total people impacted were very less at the start of the decade at 2000, but it changed drastically over the time of decade period. So this line plot also interacts with PCP. Once we hover over a line, say the number of wounded people, we see that the PCP highlights the attacks where the number of wounded people are more and makes the other polylines more transparent. This gives us a view of which attacks impacted most people. To understand the overall picture, we can see that the donut chart uh, shows that more than 50% of the attack have been on facilities and infrastructure. This information is also supported with the word cloud, as it shows NGO, transportation, telecommunication are the most attacked targets. This is how our dashboard can help gain insights about terrorist attacks that happened over the past few decades. Thank you.
Thank you.